Okay, here's the situation. The Currys are back. The Currys are hashtag. The Currys are coming for you. So, Lawan Curry here,
Tara Curry.
and we want to say hello, and we want to say thank you as well for tuning in to us. We hope that you continuously tune in and share and subscribe and share.
And respond, right?
And
Because you can put something in the comments and create a conversation and a discussion, and we'll share with you.
Absolutely, and at this time, we want to open the floor up. So if there are topics that you guys want to hear about, if there's topics that you guys want us to spill beans on and get the pot stirring, send it to us.
Yeah.
We're not afraid. And on that note, we have a thick one for today. I call it a thick one for today. It's going to require some thick skin for this one. So we want to talk about, honey, actually, give us the intro on
I'm going to give you an intro real quick.
Because you saw this one.
I do want to say really quick that if you do want to get in touch with us and send us something, you can use our business email, justwannaliveright@gmail.com. You're going to see more of JWLR in JUSTWANNA, live right, LIVERIGHT@gmail.com. So I'm always on social media, Instagram, Facebook. I'm not much of a TikToker, but once in a while. So I'm that one that's always looking at stuff, and I'm bringing it back to him. Oh, babe, look at this video. Oh, check this out. So I see a lot of stuff, and that's sometimes where our content is going to come from, because it might be something that kind of makes me think about it, and I bring it to him, and then we decide to bring it to you. And so one of the things that I saw on Instagram talked about the 4 ways to protect your marriage, right? And the 4 ways that they brought up was disagree in private,
Ooh.
control our thoughts,
Huh?
be present,
Ugh.
and pray for each other and your marriage.
Me likey.
The 4 ways to protect your marriage.
I like that.
So let's dig into the first one.
So yeah, let's dig into the first one. So disagree in private. I like that. I actually just did that like not too a couple of hours ago. You're gonna have ebb and flow in your relationship. You're gonna have your ups and you're gonna have your downs. You're gonna disagree about things, and it's okay to make sure you voice that disagreement in a respectful manner, in a respectful tone, in a respectful volume. But if you have to do some, I think this can roll off the last segment when we talk about isolation, being able to create your own space. When it comes to your personal frustration, you do want to have a vent for that. And if you have to, for me, it could be in the car, driving to and fro from work, or from one place to the next place, and just venting, just letting it out. Whatever my frustration is, like, it's not that I'm gonna curse or swear or anything like that, but I want to make sure that whatever's inside of me that I felt a little bit anxiety about has a chance to, or a vehicle, a soapbox to be released on, so to speak. And we'll talk about this in a later blog, because you gotta be very mindful about disagreeing with your spouse when there's other people around. You don't want to do that because they have no influence on your relationship. So you got to be very mindful about who you do vocalize any disagreement that you have with your spouse. But so you do want to create that space for yourself. That's kind of what I get from that. What's your take on that?
Yeah, well, my take on it was a little bit what you were just pinpointed, is not disagreeing out in the public together, like out in front of people. And so I will say that we did not do well with that in the beginning, right? In some of our dating, we would be out and there was some few scenes, right, where there was disagreement, and it was a disagreement out while we were out in the restaurant, or in the store, or at the movie theater, wherever we happen to be. There were a couple of instances where the disagreement was happening and it was getting loud and explosive.
Can I give an example?
Yeah, give me.
Yeah, because I just thought about it, and there was one scene in the beginning of our relationship. Like she said, she's the social media person in our relationship, and we'd be at dinner, and she'd get on her phone, and I was like, okay, we must be done with dinner, or maybe I was feeling something interiorly that a little left out, whatever the situation was. That I was, I would reprimand her and say, hey, listen, you must be ready to go, and da 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 da. And we would get into a space where we didn't need to be, and other people saw that, right? Other people caught witness to that. Not that, if we have something that's real personal, do we really care if other people see it? But you want to have that dynamic where that as a couple, you represent God, right? And you want everything that people do observe to be a reflection of that. And so if we did have that disagreement, I could have used that. I could have created another space for that, for us to have that discussion or that disagreement. And I know that now.
Yeah, and I agree with that. That just learning, everything doesn't need. I think he said it in a video or two before, right? Everything doesn't need to be dealt with at that time, right? And I am a big believer of timing, big believer of God's timing, and that there is a time and a place for everything. There's a season, right? Scripture says there's a season for all these different things, but there's a time and a place for that. So if we're in public and we're getting ready to clash, right? I think we both need to be mature enough and sensible enough, instead of and my husband says it all the time, instead of trying to get the win, hold on for a minute. Right? Wait till we're alone and that we can talk it out. And when you do disagree in private, he said it already, you should be disagreeing in a way that it's not hurtful, right? That the tone is right, that you can easily, let's walk through this, right? We're not in this to win. We're not competing in this argument or disagreement, but we're trying to be reasonable and get to a resolution, right? We're trying to get to the end of it where we can resolve it, and that we're both being heard. Not just one person shut it down and that's it, but that we're both being heard and we can both understand and hear each other and value what each other is saying. So the disagreeing in private is big, but it's how you have that disagreement in private, and hopefully... Yep. Yeah,
I also just want to say that there may be like, if you find yourself, sometimes space can create a volume that it's not pleasant for that disagreement.
Oh wow!
Right? I'm thinking about scenes where we could be in a diner, a party, and we could be in a disagreement, and because of the atmosphere, that would cause for a fluctuation in volume, and we have to be very mindful of that because I come from a background of yelling. And so just a tip, when we do have those heavy disagreements, we will try to make that space separately to lay on our bellies, literally lay on our bellies so we're facing each other and have that disagreement. There's going to be no yelling there. It's hard to do when you're laying on your belly, one thing. And so that's important. And so this other topic here, control our thoughts. And then there was be present, and then pray for each other, and the marriage.
I want to talk about that for a minute.
Which one?
That control our thoughts.
Yeah.
Because I've learned that everything that goes on in our heads, one, doesn't need to be said out loud, and two, it's not always truth. It's not always right. It's not always right for you. The in your mind is the enemy's playground. That's where he does all his work. If he can make you believe something, and then you're going to walk out and do that. If he can make you think that what's in your head is really what's right, and it's what he's put in there, those negative thoughts, if he can get you to believe the negative thoughts, then he has you, right? And so I think learning how to control your thoughts, but also to be able to discern that it's your thought or that it's a right thought, right? Because the thought in your mind can walk past my husband and not say anything to him, but if he's maybe not in a good space, his thoughts might start telling him something about me. Oh, no, now she's mad at you because she ain't talked to you when she walked by. And now you're feeling away. And what you mad
Like
at
you
you
can't
for?
say hi?
Right. What you mad for? I've been doing it, and now you start talking to yourself, and now it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it's out of control thought, but none of it has happened. None of it is factual. Right? And so that could put you in a space or in a mood that could then create something bigger in the house, in the situation, in the marriage.
Interesting. What I think about as well, what you have my brain clicking on is, try this. Create some boredom for yourself and see where your mind takes you. Right? So there's a lesson in that, because we are our worst enemy. And you'll see that as you go through the thought process, you're going to find that there are cracks in your positive thought. It's just, call it just being human. But we have to make sure we try to, it's almost like training the mind. To be and to do is to feed the good wolf, right? And we can talk about this more. You actually can look up the Two Wolves story. It's a beautiful story, and it's about feeding what's good all the time, every moment of the day, and watching out for those thoughts and those things that are negative, because there are two parts of us, good and bad, believe it or not, and we have to put the good forward. Right?
Yeah, it's not always easy. But I'm a believer that if that's part of your prayer, like, God, help me see the good first, right? God, help me put the good in front. Help me see things how you see things, Lord. Then that's you, first of all, inviting God in to help you in your thoughts. But also, this is you talking and encouraging yourself and empowering yourself and edifying yourself, right? To keep doing that. And now you're going to create a habit. You're going to create a routine with yourself. And then so the good is going to come forward before the bad. And you can really discipline yourself to be like that, right? And again, that's asking God, I want to see the good. I want your good to come first, Lord. I want to see everything how you see it and not let the enemy get the forefront. He should not get a front seat in your mind.
So I want to leave you guys with that. I mean, we know there's 4. We're going to touch base on the other 2 going into the next blog. But think about, how do you disagree in private? And how do you control your thoughts? Per se, if you have those thoughts that, because we do, continue to drift. We want to keep our mind like water. This is LaJuan Curry here.
Tara Curry.
And we want to say thank you once again for joining us. We're going to touch base on those other 2, being present and praying for each other and the marriage on the next one.
So the Currys are coming, and we are coming for your marriage. We are coming for your parenting, coming for your relationships, and we're coming for your soul care.
Coming for your soul care.
Because we want to make sure that God is the center of all of it. Take care of yourselves, y'all.
Peace.